Welcome back, children. Today's class I am going to discuss how to create a database table and inserting values into the created table. Last class we studied about how to display existing database in MySQL and how to connect my Python with SQL. The connection statement we studied in last class. So today, to create a database and a table and to insert values into the table. Now, first step we know that first we have to import the module. I am going to import the module. Import module name is mysql.connector. mysql.connector. I am going to give an alias name as mycon. Mycon is the alias name. I am going to give here in this program mycon I am taking as the alias name. Now we have to connect Python with the MySQL. So by using the connect method we can do that one. So I am going to write myconnect equal to your module name is mycon dot method name is connect and the first argument. What's the first argument? Last class we studied about this one. What's the first argument? Host. Host equal to local host, then username, that is user equal to root, and the third argument is password. Password equal to, you can write password, the full password, or you can write this way, password, PASSWD, password equal to root, and here I am going to create a database. So password equal to root. Next step, we have to create a cursor object. So I am going to give the cursor object name as my cursor equal to connection object is myconnect dot cursor. myconnect dot cursor. Now you created a cursor object and cursor object name is mycur, C-U-R. Next step, we have to run our query. Query is create database name. So I am going to write mycur, that is a cursor name, or cursor object name, dot execute. Execute is the method and you have to mention the query which is to be executed here in double quotes. Here I am going to give create database. I am going to give the database name as employee. Create database employee. So now when you run this program, it will create a database named employee in your MySQL. Next step, I am going to run this is a procedure here. First, you are creating a connection between your front end and back end, and second one you are creating a cursor object, and using execute method you are executing your query. Next I am going to run this program. Yes, myconnect spelling mistake is there. Where is that S? Only one O is here. You can remove it. Run this program once again. Again error is there. myconnect. CONNECT. Just give a short name, then you can avoid such type of errors. Yes, now there is no error is there. So that means the database is created. That you have to check it here in the MySQL. Each time when you try out in Python, at the same time you have to check the same thing happened in MySQL or not. So I am going to check whether it is created or not. Show data show databases. Yes. Now you created a database named employee. Employee is displayed over there. Next, that is your creation part of a database. Database is created, employee. Next step, I am going to create a table and I am going to insert value into that table. Now, you can do it the same. You can use the same Python file itself. Here I am going to use a new Python file. Now, I am going to do the same procedure. First, we have to import. You have to try out each program. You have to try out separately. Don't do it with the same Python program itself. Open a new file and try out. Then only you can by heart all these codes. Connector as import mysql.connector. Next step, you have to create a connection object. So con equal to, con is already there. So I am going to see my c equal to my con dot connect, 3 arguments, host equal to local host, and username user equal to root, and password equal to root. And here I am going to create a table. That table I have to create in my employee database. So that you have to mention here as the 4th argument for your connect method. Last class or last program we use only 3 arguments. One is host and second one is user and third one is password. Now I am going to use one more argument, that is database. There you have to specify the name of the database where you want to create the table. So I am going to say database equal to, I want to create the database inside the data. I want to create the table inside the database employee. Now there will be 4 arguments in that connect method. Next we have to create the object, cursor object. So I am going to create the cursor object cur equal to my c, that is connection object dot cursor, that is the method. Next you have to run your query. So I am going to run the query my cur cursor object, my cursor dot execute. I have to create a table. So create a table means the create query, create table emb, and I am going to give eno int and name character of 20, comma a salary int. So 3 attributes I mentioned over here. One is you have to close your double quotes also. See that after the salary int, then close the double quotes and press the enter key. Now execute, that is my cursor dot execute your query. You mentioned the query there. You have to create a table, so you mentioned your create table query. Next step. So after the execution of this statement, your table will be created with name emb. Next I am going to describe this table. So for that I am going to write my cursor, object name is my cursor dot execute. The already table is created. So I am going to describe that, DESC, describe. What do you want to describe? EMB. So describe means it displays the structure of the table. Here I am going to give a message. Print EMB table created. This is simple message. And here, by using this execute statement, you are extracting the structure of the EMB table. Now I want to display that structure. So for that, I am going to give a message. Structure of the EMB table is, structure of the EMB table is, next I am going to use, your structure is there in my cursor. For K in my cursor, one by one I am going to display print K. So you can see the structure of EMB table. Run this program. Just simple. You are using the execute query to execute different types of SQL queries. I am going to run this program. I didn't save the program, so I am going to give the file name. It is connect4. Check it, any error is there or not? Yes, there is lot of error is there. What is the error coming over there? The first error, go and check it. Where is the first error? Root database is equal to employee root password connected localhost. Yes, that spelling mistake is there, localhost. That you can correct it here. Localhost. Run the program. So double quotes closed, not inside. It must come outside, and there will be one more bracket is there. Yes. Now you can see the structure of the table. ENO, name, salary. Check it whether you understood or not. This is a mistake I made over here. When I use this create table, the create table double quotes is started there and it must be closed at the end. So I just closed inside this bracket. That's the main mistake of came over there. Now see, this is now the program is working properly, and you can see the structure of the table also here. Table is created and you can see the structure. Next I am going to insert the value into this created table EMB. Now I am going to comment this one because second as I am going to use the insert query in the same file itself. I am not opening a new Python file. In the same file itself I am going to use run the insert query. If you are using the same file, then it cannot create once when you run the same program next time, it cannot create an EMB table again because already EMB table is created in MySQL. So when you do this program, when you use the same file again, I am going to comment this one. So that line will not be executed, and this print statement also, that is not meaningful there. So I am going to comment that also. Is it clear now? So I am using the same file. So that is why I just commented these two statements, because already EMB table is created. Describe means it just display the structure of the table. Next I am going to insert the value into EMB table. So for that, my cursor dot insert dot execute query inside double quotes insert into EMB values, insert into EMB values in the same order, depends upon the data type, you have to give the values. So I am going to give the value. The first value is 120 and second one is name is, and the third one is salary. The salary is this much. Now that bracket is closed, that is the values bracket. After that, close the double quotes and close the final bracket. So this is the way you can use your insert query. Insert is a DML command. So when you use all the DML commands, whatever the DML commands used in your Python, you have to save it permanently by using the method commit. There is a method commit is there. By using the commit method, you have to save it permanently. Otherwise, when you come over here and check in the MySQL, it will not be available in MySQL. That I'll show. I am not using the commit over here. I am going to run this program. See then, your database is, your table is EMB. First, I check it whether there is any error or not. Invalid. Some mistake over here. Next, run the program. As it's showing the structure of the table, and there is no error. A shell prompt just came back. Now here, go and check it in MySQL. Your database is use employee, and just check it. Show tables. EMB is created or not? Yes, EMB is created, and select star from EMB. See that it is showing the empty cell. That record is not permanently inserted into the MySQL. So it is not direct insertion through MySQL. From Python we are inserting into MySQL. That is why I told you, you have to use a commit method to save the transaction as a permanent transaction. So I am going to use commit here. Next, yes, commit is working along with your connection object, not with the cursor object. Commit method is working with the connection object. So my connection object is myc dot connect. myc dot commit. myc dot commit. Now run the program and check it. Any error is there? Now you can see the structure, and the shell prompt is displayed over there. You come over here in SQL and check it, select star from EMB. That is displaying, that record is, you can see there on the SQL screen. So this is the way you can insert values into your MySQL using the insert query. Values you are inserting there. Now if you want to insert multiple records, same way you can use multiple times the insert query, you can use it the same way. Now the next is, this is you are mentioning the value here, values you are mentioning inside this bracket. Instead of that, if you are accepting the value from the user, you are accepting the value from the user, and that values you want to insert into your MySQL. Next I am going to say how to accept. You know that how to accept, but that accepted value how to insert into MySQL. That is another procedure you have to use it. Now here I am going to accept the values. So we want to accept employee number, name and salary. Employee number, name and salary. It must be accepted in the same order and with the same data type. So employee number, name and salary. These three values, check it. You are accepting, or input is there. Your employee number, name and salary. Three inputs are there. And the next, these three inputs you have to store in a tuple. These three inputs we are going to store inside a tuple. So that means P equal to, the tuple name is P equal to the first value ENO, comma, name, comma, salary. It is a tuple, so that is ending with that comma. Now, so the whole values will be there in the variable P. Next, I am going to write the query. I am going to store the query inside a variable. So the variable name is Q. Q equal to, the query I am going to write it this way. The same query, insert into EMP values. Now here is the difference is coming over there. The first you have to place percentage %s. That means the first variable value will be replaced over there. Whatever the value there in the tuple, the first value will be replaced there in the percentages. Comma, second %s and third %s. 3 values, so 3 %s are there. And that bracket is closed and it is end with the double quotes. Next, see that you accepted 3 values from the user. After these 3 values, you have to keep these 3 values inside a tuple. And you just copy that query inside a variable. And wherever you want to replace the values, that place is replaced with the %s. And the next step, I am going to use our execute query. My cursor dot execute. My cursor dot execute. See the way I am using. The first step, first place you have to write your query variable. The first argument will be your query variable. Query variable is Q. And after that you have to mention your tuple variable. My cursor is the object, cursor object name, dot execute. Execute is a method. And instead of mentioning that query over there, I just place that into a variable. You can mention the query there. Or I just place that into a variable and that variable I am using there. Comma, and whatever the values you have to replace, that you placed in a tuple, that tuple you place over there. So that is 2 argument is there. That in that case, in the previous case only 1 argument. Here it is, I am mentioning 2 argument over there. Q is the query and P is the values. Now already we have the commit is there. And here already this value we inserted. So I am going to change this into 130. Then only you can identify it is changed or not. This I am going to write. And here it is, yes, that changed. That values are changed. Now the input part is there. So one record is inserted. This particular record will be inserted and depends upon the input values, this insert query will be executed. Now we can run this program. Check any mistake, error is there. This is your structure of the table. And next is asking the employee number. Employee number is 200. Employee name Devendran, and salary, yes, it's shell prompt is displayed, that means there is no error, but you have to verify it in SQL, check it, is it inserted or not. Yes, 2 records are inserted. The first insert query insert this value and the second insert query inserted this value. Now go through the program once again. My cursor dot execute, directly you are using the insert query. After that you are accepting the values, attribute values you are accepting from the user, and accepted value you stored in a tuple, and the tuple you are using along with the execute query. So this is the way you can use your insert query. Try out the program in your Python. So here once again I show you from the top part. This is your module name, connection statement, cursor object, and this is creating the table, and this is describing the table. Now try out these programs. Today I am going to wind up. Next class we can see how to use select query. How to display the existing value from your table to your Python screen, or how to use your select query. Okay, thank you children.